So, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Who's ready to hear about negotiating? Listen, 2021 is a special time. Negotiations change too. Which button do I press, Kevin? This one over here? You're supposed to do this. I'm supposed to come up here with a tiger helmet. Let's try this.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's do it again. Let's annoy these people. Nick Tiger Quay is in the building. Yeah! I should probably hit the button, yeah.
I'll get my slide up there first.
I should probably hit the button.
Productivity in real estate. Hey, Kevin. All right, one more time.
Yeah.
All right, ready for this?
No, I'm not. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, you can. Do you know who we're messing with?
There we go.
Deep in the jungle, we have the best realtor, maybe in South Florida, Nick Tiger Quay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin. All right. Can you guys all hear me right now? So I kind of renamed this talk, Negotiate Like a Tiger. I've been doing real estate for over 15 years, and I'm known for a few things. One of them is being a ferocious negotiator. But today's not about being ferocious. It's about getting the deal done and getting the deal closed. So today's topics are mostly on this slide, and I'm going to add a few that aren't up there. I want everybody on the count of three, there we go. Everybody on the count of three to read the top one, rule number one. 1, 2, 3, rule number one. Oh, come on, you guys haven't had your coffee yet. We're going to do this one more time. Rule number one. Okay, I like that. Was better. All right. So rule number one, it's never personal. Rule number one, it's never personal. People say nasty things. There's a lot of emotions in real estate. And it's our job as real estate professionals to guard that and to limit our personal emotions so we can manage all the emotions around us and all the different personalities in a real estate transaction. And that's one of the primary responsibilities that we have as an expert negotiator for our clients. It's all about getting the job done. At the end of the day, your buyers want to buy, your sellers want to sell. All the other stuff has to be removed from it. Terms matter when it comes to contracts, especially in times like today. It's not just about the offer price anymore. We're seeing ridiculous amounts of overpriced offers. Some people underprice their listings on purpose so they can say, sold for $100,000 over ask. Well, the times have changed. The way that you negotiate and the way that you manage people and personalities has to change as well. Don't trash talk the other side. One thing that I can tell you that will permanently damage your reputation, maybe not in this current transaction that you're dealing with, but in the future, you're going to lose referrals, you're going to lose respect, and you're going to lose trust when you start bad-mouthing the other side. Now, the other side isn't just the other realtor. It's not just the other buyer. It's not just the seller. It's the association. It's the company. It's the management. It's the inspector. You have to remove your personal emotions and make this about one thing, getting the deal done, doing what's best for your client. So how do you do that? One of the first things you have to do is to identify your client's target. What are they looking for? Are they looking for a vacation home? Is this the limited amount of money they have left before they retire? So they're using all their funds. 95% of the money that they have saved for their entire life is going to go into this. So this might be their only source of money down the road. Are they looking for the best deal in town? Are they looking for a fifth home to put their kids in on the weekends? All these things matter. One of my favorite is pull home to quarantine and chill. You need to be able to identify what the target is. Now you have to define your goals. What are your goals? Remember, it's not about yourself, it's about the deal, getting the deal closed. Is it to negotiate the best price? Is it to beat somebody up and steal the property? Because we all know we have clients like that. Raise your hands if you have a client that wants to steal thank you, everybody. It happens. A lot of times today, as I mentioned, especially for single-family homes with a pool and a good school district, what are we doing? Full price offers. Hey, is full price going to take it? Hi, listing agent, I have a perfect buyer for your house. It's listed at $500,000. Do you think the seller would accept $550,000? I don't know. Is that enough? You have to know. You have to know what the goals are. So then you have to negotiate just to get inside the property. By a show of hands, how many of you have deals you can't even get inside the damn door? Come on, be honest, because I know it's more than that. Thank you. It is. All of us are dealing with this right now. So negotiation starts way before you start putting in contracts. Who's going to keep time on me? Because I'll run over. Somebody? Anybody? All right. We'll just keep on going until I get thrown off stage. And then the other thing is, are you trying to get an extension? All these things are really important to you to define your goals and what you're trying to do right now. Let me see. Okay. So negotiating starts at the door. Well, it does, but it also starts at how you get in the door, at the first text message. Here's a few examples on screen of my favorites. You pick from these and you tell me which one, as a listing agent, you're going to let inside the door. Because this is where your negotiating starts. My first impression of you and anyone's first impression of us starts with the text. Hi, can I show Washington Avenue? I don't know who you are. How do you know I don't have 5 listings on Washington Avenue? Are you a broker? I don't know. And so one of the ones that I always do is, Penthouse 5, still available? We have the perfect buyer for tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Is that okay? Nick Tiger Quay with the Quay Realty, license number 3170090. Why? I've already identified who I am. They know that I'm a professional. They know that I'm actually with a brokerage. And they can probably tell from my original text message that it's safe to say that I have my act together at least a little bit, at a minimum. And here's some more examples of what not to do. But this matters. And when you're trying to get into a really unique property, maybe it's the only one on the market in that entire neighborhood, the gatekeeper, the listing agent or the assistant, they're choosing who they let in. Nobody wants to go to the house 60 times in the first 7 days. And some owners aren't allowing us to do open houses. So your first job is to get in the door. And to do that, you have to start negotiating from the first text. Negotiation does not stop at the contract, not even a little bit. A lot of times, as strong agents, we have to carry the entire transaction. Raise your hands if you had to do the other person's job. How about the whole thing? You had to get all the documents from the HOA. You had to schedule their work. You had to follow up with their title company, with their attorney. Well, guess what? That's okay. Your job is to get the deal closed. In negotiation, you want to make money, your client's got to come first. Anything that you have to do, I don't care what it is, has to be done. If you need to send someone over to walk the dog so you can show the property, do it. That's real estate today. And if you're the one that's willing to step out and do what it takes to get a deal closed, everybody, including myself, we're going to go out of our way to do a deal with you. We're going to want to work with you. I'm going to be like, wow, Ashley, hey, Sally, hey, Steve, thank goodness you're calling me with a buyer. I cannot wait to do another deal with you because we already know what kind of person we're dealing with. You've already set the tone for negotiating. Not to mention creating that relationship, letting me know that you're a team player. When my client goes, hey, let's look at all these offers. Do you know any of these people? Listen, the client gets to choose. But when someone's coming in with a half-written offer and it's missing information, you've already screwed yourself in negotiating and you hurt your client. And what's going to happen, that client's going to get buyer burnout. They're going to leave you. And if it's on the listing side, they're going to try to cancel the listing. You better believe you're not going to get any positive referrals from this one. Other things that you have to negotiate sometimes, I'm going to go through this kind of quick. Condo docs, FAQ, meeting minutes, all those things that are required, how many times do you have to go in and do it? It's in the contract. It still doesn't matter. You have to negotiate. You have to go to the HOA. I show up with flowers and donuts, gift cards, bottles of tequila, wine, empanadas. It doesn't matter. Everybody on my team will tell you that I do this on a regular basis. And it's to get the job done as quickly as we can and as diligently as possible. Because it's all about time. You're waiting on documents that have time for your client to make a decision. It's not just about here's the offer I'm in. There's documents that have to be read. Attorneys have to be involved. There's more to the process here. So you have to get through it as quickly as you can. And that's still a part that you're negotiating after the contract. Appraisal dates, association applications, just getting a response. Who here's had lots of times where you can't get a response? I just put an offer in 4 days ago. I haven't heard from the listing agent. I had to call their broker. I had to call their assistant. It turns out they have a transaction coordinator, and they're the broker owner. So I'm calling everybody under the sun to get a response. We have an effective contract. I can't schedule the inspection. So I'm taking somebody, the property is actually not local. I have somebody in their area going to the office today in person. I'm paying someone to do this, to go in and make sure that we get the things scheduled for this Saturday. These are the kind of things you have to do. It's negotiate all the way across. First impressions matter. Always wear a big smile. Give you 2 examples. Oh, why did my slide just reset over here? Kevin, I might need your help. My slide reset on my side. We'll figure this out. Anyway, well, you can't see it there, but I see it here. So if you get a phone call and it's, yeah, hi, I want to show that house over on 123 Mulberry Lane, and yeah, when can I show it? How are you going to respond? Versus, hi, I'm Nick Tiger Quay. I have the perfect buyer for your property over on 123 Mulberry. Do you think we can see it tomorrow, Friday at 2 p.m.? Cash buyer coming in from California. They're only here for 2 days. What do you think? I want to sell your property. Which one of those two are you going to want to show the property to? Thank you. We're just waiting on some technical difficulties here. So like I said, first impression matters all the way across the board. Thank you so much. All right, there we go. So I think it just timed out. And the point is, when you get to the HOA, when you get to the building, we've had this happen on my team where just getting to a condo building, you have an appointment. The listing agent said, sure, come tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Well, guess what? You get there, you pull up, and there's a guard gate. The guard doesn't have you on the list. The listing agent wasn't doing their job, didn't send an email, the owner didn't send an email, you're not on the list. So you have to negotiate just to get in the door. Then you get up to the security guard at the concierge at the front desk, you're doing it again. It's all about first impressions. Smile, be humble, be quiet sometimes, and listen and see what happens. Now we're going to do one of my exercises. I was asked how much coffee I drink, 0. But every single day I do this, and every single day, not always in the tiger helmet, by the way, most of the time. And on top of that, every single day I center and I breathe, and when I start to negotiate, I do the same. So I want you all to stand up. Probably unbutton your jacket so you don't pop a button out when we do this. All right. Now you're going to take all that stress from your deal. You're going to shake it out. Oh, come on. That deal was so stressful. I heard you cursing for days. Let me see it. Get out. Get out. Woo! All right. Now we're going to do the exercise that really makes a difference. Remember, it's getting them on your side. It's getting the deal done. All your emotions have to go to the side because your emotions don't matter. Everyone else's do. So now you're going to close your eyes, however you feel centered. We're going to take a few deep breaths. The trick here is when you breathe all the way in till you can't anymore, and when you exhale towards the end, you're going to go. So it's all the stress has to come out of your system. So now keep your eyes closed. As you're inhaling positivity. You're inhaling getting in the door, because that's the first step. And you're exhaling no. You're exhaling the tenant won't show. All that out. Now you can inhale again. Now your client likes it. Your client's making an offer. Amazing. Now you're exhaling. We have 34 offers already. Get that out of your system. Now you do this one more time. Now you're inhaling that phone call that all buyer's agents love to hear. You know what it is? Offer accepted. Yes. Okay. Now that you have that out of your system, now we're going to do what I call the power pose. So you can do this in your car. You can do it on the side of a building, in an elevator. It doesn't matter. Take a few minutes to center and breathe. Because like I said, first impression matters, and your entire job of negotiating is to get the deal closed. That's all it is. It's really easy. So one of my favorite ones is this, because it doesn't hurt my back. Sometimes I jump, but not on stage. I want everybody to pick a power pose. It could be do something that shows you empowerment, where you're like, I'm going to get this. They're going to accept my offer. Everybody, just show me a power pose. All right, good enough. Thank you. So my point to this exercise is you have to get all your emotions out. How do you feel right now, everybody? But do you feel better than you did a few minutes ago? Were you thinking about a deal 5 minutes ago, and now you're thinking about why the hell am I here doing a power pose at the Hard Rock? That's the point. Your energy has to shift. I see a lot more smiles now than I did a few minutes ago. You're attentive. You're all standing up. Your chest is out. You're in a power position to now get the negotiating done. Now you're in a position to do what you have to do to go to the close. So part of this also is identifying your client's risks. Is the risk money? Is the risk time? Did you want to sit? Okay, you guys could sit. I was waiting. I have my timer going. I was seeing if you stand for a whole minute. You have to identify your client's risks. Is the risk time? Is it money? Is it homelessness? We deal with this kind of stuff. Is it another night in a hotel? What if they don't have $350 for another night in a hotel? Where's it going to come from? Is the wife threatening a divorce if you can't get your act together and get our family this house? There's stress involved. You also have to choose your battles. Now, I said that I'm a ferocious negotiator, but one thing I will tell you that's true. Every time you fight, when you go toe-to-toe, everybody comes out bloody, bruised, battered, and cut. How many of you have seen a boxing match, UFC fight, anything? 99% of the time, does anybody come out looking like this? Once in a blue moon, but 99.9% of the time, there's blood, there's bruises, you're scratched. Don't forget, it's not just about us, it's about the client too. So you have to remember, my glasses back on here, you have to remember who you're battling for. It's not about you. So sometimes you do have to go toe-to-toe. Hopefully you have an attorney do a lot of that, so you maintain your reputation and you maintain control of the deal. Let the attorneys fight. You still have to manage the personalities, but when there's an attorney involved, you're bringing the muscle. It's not your house. It's not your house. It's your client's future, whether it's the money for them to move on in their life, whether it's the house that they need to raise their family in because there's no inventory and there's nowhere for them to live and the kid has to go to the school. It's not your house. Never take it personal. Your duty is to your client first. Your duty is to your client first. Their wallet above yours. That's a rule that I've had for many years. Some people want to argue with that, and that's okay. You don't all have to do it this way. But when you kind of come off in this authentic manner, when you really care, and if you really do care about your customers, you will negotiate different as well. Get them on your side. This is one that we had a lot of requests for. So as I mentioned earlier, it's all about personality management. There's a lot of egos in real estate. When managing different personalities, your goal is to find common ground. Some agents yell, and they scream, and they curse, and they're nasty, and they're personal, and they're belligerent. And you just want to scream back and hang up. As soon as you give that energy back, you're going head-to-head with a bull. That person is not in a mood at that moment to negotiate with you. They don't even want to hear from you. So what do you do with this? Sometimes you have to let the other side win. Watch my parentheses here, win, so your client wins. The main goal in this is for your client to close. Whether it's seller or buyer, doesn't matter. So what do? When you have a screaming agent, sometimes all you have to do is listen. If someone's yelling and they're raising their voice, they want to be heard. They want to feel like what they're saying matters. So put your phone on mute, zip it, and just listen. Go like this. As soon as you stop hearing, I agree with you. That's horrible. You're right. Listen, I don't care if they're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. You give them what they need to hear in the moment because you are diffusing. It's a part of negotiating this personality management. It's diffusing that screaming agent, that screaming buyer, the screaming HOA manager. I'm laughing. I had an HOA manager call the police on me once during a video shoot. I'll tell you that. If you want to hear the story at the end, Inez knows this because I was like, Inez, the police are coming. What the hell do I do? Oh, yeah. And I was running around in a tiger helmet. We'll talk about that in a minute. My point is this. You have to listen and acknowledge them. And if you acknowledge them, that stress they had goes away. You've now taken the power back. It's like Aikido. If somebody comes at you hard and you try to fight them back, listen, they're faster. They're going to knock you out. But if you see them coming and you're like, and you dance with them and you let them go, you are in control. So that's a lot about how I get people on the side. Think of examples in the next couple of minutes here. At the end, I'm going to ask maybe two people to stand up. You're going to have one sentence, very concise, no names, no broker names, no brokerage names, no building names, no HOA names, no title company names, just very simple one sentence. Here's something I'm dealing with. And then we'll go over some things that you might be able to do. Something else you have to do is find a way to give them something. You gave them an ear, okay? Well, what if later on they're done screaming, they're done yelling, they're done being mean? And there's something you could do for them. People are yelling and upset because they have a problem. They don't know how to deal with something. It's an emotion. So you can solve the emotion. You can say, hey, listen, you know what? I know your dog is sick. I'm going to bring my dog. Let's go to the dog park tomorrow. It doesn't matter what it is. It's finding a commonality. Me, I used to live in Brazil. I speak Portuguese fluently. So when I call someone and they're getting nasty and I hear that accent, Brazilians have a certain accent, I'll start talking in Portuguese. Sometimes I'm wrong, but most of the time I'm right on the accent. And regionally in Brazil, every city has its own accent. A Curitibana, Carioca, they're all a little bit different. A Paulista. The accents are different, so I'll go to them that way. Hobbies, I'm a big paddleboarder and I like to cook, I like to travel. So Google them online. If they're being a real difficult agent, figure out who this person is. Who are you dealing with? Do they like really cool shoes? Do they run around in tiger helmets? I don't know, figure it out. Go online, are they a video agent? Find a common ground. Hey, I love your videos, your social media is amazing. Oh my God, your TikTok, I wanna be like that. Find something you can have in common. Sometimes it's okay to ask for something. Is it lifestyle, family, marketing? All these things will help you get on a common plane so you can actually negotiate and really get a deal done. Those of you that know me know that no does not exist. On 3, I want to hear you say it. 1, 2, 3. No. I don't believe you. 1, 2, 3. No. All right. Now the next part is, yes, how do we get there? Now I'm going to say no, and you're going to yell back, yes! How do we get there? You want to do what? No. Yes. You want to do what? No. Yes. Okay. I learned that lesson from my father many years ago. Some of you that know him, Darla knows him. 23 years in the Army, retired Army colonel. Served in Vietnam, did lots of other interesting stuff over the years, government many years after. And you would think that a government man might not have this opinion, but he instilled this in me at a really young age. And it was always, no does not exist. Yes, how do we get there? There's different examples of this. Part of negotiating. No showings tomorrow, the tenant says. And Ashley's going to laugh at this because she sees me do this all the time. We're scheduling appointments, and what do they say, Ashley? No. They say no. No, they don't need an excuse. They just say no. Well, I'm always like, okay, excuse me, hold on a second. That's not the right answer. The answer is yes. What does yes look like? If you were to tell me yes, what has to happen? If your client was to say yes, what do they need? And the agents are like, what? First off, I just knocked them off the guard. You know, they're not defensive anymore because they're like, what do you mean no? I just told you no. Yes? What do you mean? They get interested. So I make them laugh. And I say things like, you're telling me that your seller's going to be okay with this? Don't you want to make some money? I want to help you make money. Do you want a new car? Do you want to go on vacation? Well, yeah, I want a new car. What kind of car do you want? Oh, I want a new Audi RS4. I want to help you get the Audi RS4. Call that person back. Tell them, hey, we got this agent named Tiger, really crazy guy. He's got really expensive taste in tequila, likes Starbucks gift cards, and he drinks really nice Tuscan red wine. He wants you to pick one. And immediately the agent laughs. And they go, and I repeat myself. And they go, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, do you think that I'm serious? I got a bottle of Toscana right here. I got some Ilegal over here, which is a really good mezcal. And I have $200 on Starbucks gift cards. Tell them to pick one. Call me back. What happens, Ashley? Yes! Every single time. I've never had, it's true, I've never had somebody tell me no when you take them off their guard. And this is just one example. There's many ways to turn a no into a yes. And it's about being creative, making them laugh, and sometimes making them go, who the hell is this person? I have to meet him. Oftentimes, the tenant will come downstairs, or the owner will come downstairs to meet us in the lobby. They're like, who the hell is the Tiger? Because that's how I introduce myself to them. It's fun, it's quirky, and it takes them off their guard. And guess what? Our buyers are always happy because they might be the only buyer that week that gets into the property. And you know how hard it is to show properties today? Don't you want to be that person? Like I said, negotiation does not stop at the contract. And it also doesn't stop at the end there. You have to go all the way through and negotiate lots of things. Front desk say no, lenders say no, no rust appraisals. Like I said, my point is this. The concept is the exact same. 1, 2, 3, no, does not, oh, I'm sorry. Top one first, right here. No does not exist. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to say no, and you're going to say, you want to do what? No! Okay. And it's that simple. What's that?
We need to know the lender trick that you have to get the appraisal.
A lot of tequila. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you questions, and you guys can ask back. I'm going to get through this, but that's a good question. We're going to come back to that. It works with everybody. It's about commonality, common ground, and getting them off their guard. When you have somebody like this, no, we don't do that here. Oh, you're about to. Hey, there's a first time for everything, right? Who's done something for the first time in their life? Has anybody? You had to walk, you had to ride a bike, you had your first tequila shot, you might have spit it out, who knows, you might have liked it. We fall down, we get hurt. Who did their first real estate transaction at some day? It's a first time for everything. Who's to say that this person saying no isn't going to say yes for the first time for you? That's on you. Team player relationships. You hear this all the time. A lot of times in real estate, we have to be the quarterback, the running back, everything, the coach, the marketing person, the party person, whatever it is. And the last rule to remember is that it's never personal. So here's a few books, if you want to take a picture of this one. Here's a few books that I like. There's a lot more. These are some of the newer ones that have been trending on all the top negotiating lists. Like I said, it's also about managing personalities. There's a lot of things we can get into. There's personality types. There's ways to analyze. There's different types of energy. I wasn't going to get into that now because 20 minutes is not enough time. That's hours and hours and hours of training. So I've actually taken quite a few negotiation courses, which you can take as well. Here's my contact information here. And if you can't see it out there, a little tiger ring on. So if you have a problem negotiating something, call me. I love to talk, if you might have noticed, and I like to help people, and I sincerely mean that. So now I think we have a few minutes left because I haven't been kicked off stage. We're going to ask a question and a story. Okay.
2 questions?
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear a really quick story on how a deal turned hellacious and everybody else would have walked away, but I still got it closed?
Yeah, close with the story.
Close with the story? Okay. So 40 acres was my listing. I had the buyer as well. I had to sell it 3 times because of the pandemic. First one walked when the pandemic hit. It happens. We all had these kind of deals happen. So long story short, that was a fun negotiation. And then we get all the way down to the end. All the extensions were met. The buyer needed extensions. He was getting a loan from the farm bank, basically the farm bureau. There's all these things regarding farms and how they get money. And although they had the cash, money's cheap to borrow right now. So we had exhausted all of our extensions all the way through. Inspection was fine. We go out. There's 40 acres, 2 20-acre lots. 1 20-acre was clear. Good. The tenant that we thought was going to be the holdout, the difficult one, he was gone. We had to pay a little bit. They didn't want to leave, so it's okay. Sometimes it costs money to get the deal done. So you have to know what the risks are. Like I said earlier about managing your risks, you have to understand that if you have a tenant in place today or anytime, you might have to pay to get them to go away because you can't kick them out. And coming at them hard, that's not going to work. They're going to have an attorney write you a really nasty letter. They're going to hold up the deal, and you're not going to close. You're going to lose the buyer. Then you're going to have to start all over again. So this 40-acre transaction, it was fun. We get all the way down to the end. We're 3 days away from closing, and me being me, I go down there early again to make sure that all the farming equipment and everybody was off my property. Well, I got my maize over here. I got tomatoes over here that haven't been picked. And other farmers, I don't know what they were doing, probably long beans, but they're there on the property, still working, still planting, still putting sticks on the ground. They're not supposed to be there. I start talking to them. I realize these people aren't talking to each other. The farm's broken up. There's 4 different groups. I'm like, why aren't they talking? They come in their own trucks. I had someone that was watching. Long story short, we had 4 illegal tenants on our property. 3 days before closing, we found out. The owners didn't know. They had 1 tenant they signed a lease with, and every single year in December, that tenant would let other farmers prepay to lease the land. He wasn't doing anything but showing up in his truck and making money. Not legal. It violated his lease and lots of other things as well. So then we had to get these people off the land in 3 days. Who here thinks we got the deal closed? On time. I'm going to tell you what happened. I lost sleep. I lost my cool a little bit. I even had to go down there with boots and a cowboy hat on one day just to make a point. But I got the deal done. And we got the deal done by paying the tenants. First, we had to listen. They were scared. They were scared. They knew that they were doing something illegal. They didn't want to go to jail. They didn't want to get deported, whatever the situation was, whatever their fear was. So we had to understand their fear, understand their concern. They were lying. They said, no, I work for this guy. Well, they didn't. He wouldn't be honest because he was afraid he was going to go to jail for fraud and other stuff because he didn't understand the system. Long story short, we were able to separate everybody, identify exactly what their concern was, what was their fear. This person over here, 100% of his family income comes off that little 5-acre farm. This other person over here was doing a favor for a buddy. They didn't matter. The other guy with the tomatoes, it was going to be more expensive for him to pick the tomatoes than the profits he would have made at that time. Took a lot of research and some phone calls to different fruit purveyors, but we found out. So we knew who our battle was with. We picked it the right way, went in smiling, offered them money, finally got him to accept, told the main guy that was doing everything illegally, these people are going to come to your house. I don't need to know where you live, but they already know. It's a very small community down at Redland. Long story short, we got the deal closed. At the same time, my seller's going, no, forget this. The property values have gone up, which they did. They went from 55 an acre to 62, 63 an acre within our time period that we were in a contract. In this time, I had to then negotiate with my seller, negotiate with my buyer, keep it all done, but I got the deal done. If you guys want to know more and talk about specifics later, because I'm getting thrown off stage,
I didn't say anything.
I don't get an extra 2 minutes because it screwed up here and I didn't have my theme song. Okay. Anyway, come see me after, and I hope you guys out. I hope that you learned a little something today. If you did, give me a nice applause here. And like I said, I could go on negotiating for hours. I was serious about taking my phone number and calling me. And if you guys need some tequila suggestions, I have a lot. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
I take Don Julio Añejo, please. Thank you. Añejo, sorry, this Midwestern boy doesn't get his eñes right, but I'm trying. Okay, somebody who doesn't need to try it all because he's got it all together is my man Gabriel Amity. Come to the